Kim, what is our second main topic today?
All right, this comes from David. Hey, John. So I watched the latest episode of the Book of Boba Fett, episode 3, and I'm left underwhelmed and embarrassed. It felt lame. The epic car chase scene oddly felt like a fight scene from a Power Rangers episode. Holy cow. What do you think of the episode? And does this make you worried about the future episodes to come?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, man. And yeah, listen, it's been a bit now since since Boba Fett episode 3 aired. We're going to talk about it here openly. So this is a show that's on TV. So if you still haven't seen it and you don't want to hear anything about it, well, that's on you to cover your ears and move away for a second. But Book of Boba Fett episode 3. I was not satisfied as a viewer with Book of Boba Fett episode 1. I thought 2 was a definite improvement. I was like, okay. Then came episode 3. Now let me talk about what I liked in episode 3 before I talk about everything else. That moment when he returns on the Bantha to the Tusken encampment and finds them all dead, I was surprised how emotional I felt at that moment. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't cared 2 squirts of urine for these Tusken Raiders in the desert. I haven't cared about this story at all. And yet, he arrives back on that Bantha and everybody's dead. I felt it. I'm like, well, hell, would you look at that? There was actually a little bit of... Now, I don't know if it was 3 episodes of build-up worth of payoff for that moment, but that was a good moment. And I enjoyed that, and I felt it, and I thought that was great. There were a couple other things that I enjoyed seeing. Like, I am enjoying the dynamic between Boba Fett and Fennec more and more. Like, to me, I mentioned this on the show yesterday. To me, speaking of Godfather, she is like the best consigliere. Like, she is, like, she calls him on it, but she's absolutely loyal. Like, she can chase after the guys. All he has to do is look or say, Fennec, alive. That's all she needs to hear. Boom, she goes, gets him, brings him back alive, right? Like, whatever he needs, he does. And we often forget that in Mandalorian, he saved her life. He found her, left for dead in the desert, and he's the one who saved her life. And I like that, and I think that's been even deepened even more here. So I like a number of things, quite a bit about episode 3. And then there's all the other stuff.
Oh.
The Mos Espa Vespas. Right, I mean, I couldn't tell if I was watching Luca or Book of Boba Fett. But they should have had Sons of Anarchy jackets with like the Mos Espa Vespas, just riding their Vespas around. And I mentioned this on yesterday's show, Rob. I said this. So let me get this straight. So these kids in these clothes, these massive cybernetic enhancements, and the most colorful things on the entire planet of Tatooine, these Vespa speeder bikes. These are the kids that have no work and can't afford a glass of water? Really? And then, to take it one step further, Boba Fett finds the Mos Espa Vespas. He's never met them before, hasn't heard of them before Stephen Root went and found them. And without knowing a thing about them, other than the fact that they said a couple of snarky, disrespectful lines to him, he goes, well, you're the type of people I should hire. I hope you can fight. Like, really? You're the, I don't know how to pronounce it, the Diamo, you're whatever. You're the crime boss here? You ain't gonna make it long as the crime boss here, Boba Fett, if you're hiring fighters that you've never seen fight. Oh yeah, but they're young kids and they say some pretty snarky comeback lines. I bet that means they can fight. What? What are we talking? What? Seriously? You're not long for this world as a crime boss, Boba Fett. I'm sorry. And then while I love Stephen Root, because I just saw him in Succession as well, I love him. I just kept expecting him to say, when he says, what have they done? I kept expecting him to say, they stole my stapler. It's my stapler, and I'm going to burn them now. I mean, that's all I can see. Plus, I love Danny Trejo. But that sudden appearance of Danny Trejo, to be honest with you, felt more jarring than anything else. I mean, add the imprint on the first person they see. Oh, that's kind of cool. Get a little bit of background on what the Rancors are and how they work. Okay. I dig that. And I think with that little bonding moment between Boba and the Rancor, I want to ride him. I mean, I think we're getting set up for something pretty exciting later on in the show. I do. I think we're getting set for something pretty exciting. Kretantan, Kirktantan?
Chrysanthemum.
Kretantan.
Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum. Black Chrysanthemum. I have pronounced his name. A lot of people hated that fight.
Killer Chewie.
Killer Chewie. I didn't hate the fight. I'm going to be honest with you. I know everybody else hated the fight. I didn't mind the fight.
I like when he cracked his back.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, ooh, that sounds like it felt
And you know what else I love?
Because he just got right back up, and he wasn't like,
kill him.
he wasn't like, oh my God, my back.
Yes, or it should have
was
crippled
like,
him.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's all good.
Come on.
But I mean, I like the fact, I want to see badass Boba Fett, but I also want to see that, unlike Steven Seagal movies, that he's not completely invincible. Like, you catch Boba Fett, then you're also got a sense of stakes, right? So I didn't mind the fight. Although, I think it was Kim who brought up a really great point. How the F did he get in?
Yeah.
Where are these guards? Where are the Vespas? Where are the
Does he lock the
Gamorreans?
door?
No, it's a
they
cave,
don't lock
bro.
the door.
It's not. There's no door. It's just an open cave.
Boba Fett has Jabba had a gigantic door to let you in that R2 and 3PO
And he didn't
had to
fit in
knock
no
on.
air duct.
No.
He
and-
did Black Curtain.
Community living.
It's
over there.
Community living.
Community
And so
living.
how to get whatever. The fight happened. Whatever. I'm fine with the fight. What is pretty interesting though is it does break canon with the comic books. Because remember, Disney bought that. They say everything from now on is all canon. The comic books are canon. Well, we've seen this Wookiee in the comic books and what his backstory is and what led him to this. And this kind of breaks that. I mean, you could do some fast talking and maybe try to make it make sense, but it kind of breaks canon. That's fine. That's fine. But at the end of the day, and that chase scene through the city was awful. You could really feel the lower budgetness of the whole thing. And they're driving high-speed chase. I felt like I could have jogged and caught up to them at any time. I just could have jogged and caught up to them. And the visual effects were questionable at some points too. When you're asking the question, is the Book of Boba Fett a disappointment? There's a lot of people online asking that question right now. And I'll be honest with you, I am shocked when I think about this is from the same team that brought us Mandalorian. It's not like John Favreau just said, let's hire this other B squad to go and do Book of Boba Fett. Okay, no, Favreau wrote this. Him and Filoni are executive producing it. This is the same team that brought us 2 glorious seasons of Mandalorian that just seems to me to feel like it gets better and better and better. And they're the ones behind this. And I will say yes. Up till this point, I believe Book of Boba Fett is a disappointment. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Not at all. But considering the setup they gave this guy in Mandalorian Season 2 and what we come to expect, and I guess he developed a fear of flying because now he's got to walk to town every day instead of taking the Slave 2. I mean, yeah, you know what? I need to get my steps in, Fennec. Let's walk. Let's walk into town. And then the huts are coming out. Now, let's not take the sail barge out there and then be carried off. No, let's just have our little slave guys carry us through the desert to get... What? I don't know. So, yeah, I'll go... Look, have I given up all hope that it can get better? No, I have not given up hope that it can get better in episodes 4, 5, 6, and 7. We still have 4 episodes to go. There are still chances it can be really good. But right now, yeah, I'll say this show is a disappointment. We want to take a second and thank a sponsor of this video, HelloFresh. Now, listen, guys, if you are anything like me or Ann, Ann and I are both working professionals. We don't have a lot of time. And what that often meant was when it would come to dinner time, we would either settle with making subpar meals or ordering fast food way too much. I like fast food once in a while, but we were eating fast food way too much. That's why something like HelloFresh was an absolute godsend for us. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. Listen, with HelloFresh, you'll be cooking and eating great looking and great tasting meals without the hassle of going to the grocery store and trying to remember everything you need to get on the recipe list, and you'll be paying less. And look, I get it. You are probably saying to yourself or saying to me through the screen, John, you don't get it. I don't know how to cook. I'm telling you, with HelloFresh, You can, because the packages don't just come with all the ingredients properly portioned out already for you, but they also include clear, easy to follow instructions with images that you'll have no problems following. In 30 minutes or less, you'll be eating great and feeling pretty damn good about yourself looking at the meal that you prepared. So right now, guys, go on over to HelloFresh.com/Campea16 and use the code Campea16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. That's 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. So HelloFresh, everybody, America's #1 meal kit right now. I know, Rob, you've been watching Book of Boba Fett. We haven't really talked about it.
No.
But what did you think about episode 3? And overall, how are you feeling about the series as a whole up until this point?
I find this show so far rather perplexing. Robert Rodriguez directed the first and third episodes, and I thought that the direction, I was surprised. I mean, cutting his teeth on stuff like El Mariachi, where his camera work and his understanding of editing really gave a movie that had basically no budget a lot of wit and verve, and it was action-packed. It was fun to watch. I feel like I'm watching some anemic live-action Saturday morning cartoon or live-action like Arc 2 from the 70s. There's a reference for you. But what really bothers me about this show is Boba Fett is kind of an idiot. Like, I'm seeing, here's a guy that in Empire Strikes Back knew Han Solo's tactics, knew that Han Solo was going to float away like the rest of the garbage, and was able to anticipate this and get the jump and get to Bespin before Han Solo did. He was a cunning guy who understood what to do, a very competent guy. All we've seen, especially in Robert Rodriguez's episodes, is Boba Fett having his ass handed to him. And both figuratively and literally. What does he want? Why does he want to consolidate? It's like he seems so haphazard. I don't feel like Boba Fett has any plan in this show. It's like he goes and he sees the same shot of himself watching his father fly off in the Slave One, which they've like reused twice now, and he doesn't have any plan. And I don't believe he can succeed. Everybody's way ahead of him. The mayor of the town, like, oh, we walked into his office and oh, he locked himself in his office and oh, he was able to escape. I'm like, bruh, come on, man. Put Fennec at the back door. Like, why do you both walk in together? I think Tamora Morrison is trying really hard. I've liked the Sand People stuff, but I just find myself thinking Boba Fett is kind of a boob who doesn't know what's going on. And I don't understand, like you pointed out, he walks up and hires some randos with their colored Vespas. Like, why would you come work for me? What do you have to offer me? Why would you be altering your bodies? That's kind of dumb. It's like is that the new form of tattoos? You know, when you're 30, you're like, oh, I regret cutting my arm off and replacing it with this. Should have done that. You know, I mean, I don't know, man. Look, I'm still tuning in. I hope it's going to get better, but it's just a mishmash of bad ideas. It's like a salad that has too much fruit in it.
All these damn pomegranates.
Well, Drew, Ray, you've been watching this show with me. I mean, every Tuesday night we're here. Midnight comes, we watch it. How are you feeling about Book of Boba Fett right now?
Well, not knowing a lot of this backstory of Boba Fett, I actually like it. Like some of the things you guys pointed out, yeah, it's there, but it's not enough for me to, you know, not want to keep watching more. I think the only part that bothered me was the little song and dance number they did at the end of episode 2.
Oh, dancing around the fire?
Yeah, because I actually fell asleep and I woke up thinking it was the next day. That's how long that part was to me. Like during it, I was at your table sitting in the back. I usually sit in the back while John's on the couch and stuff. I sit at a table. And I fell asleep like right there at the table during that part. But
all honesty, he asked me after, because Ryan was there too. He asked me, but how long was that dance scene? I'm like, it was maybe a minute or two. Why? He goes, well, the dance scene started, I fell asleep, and then I woke up and they were still dancing. So I wanted to know how long they were dancing for.
It was a Maori haka. It was great.
I fell asleep while they were dancing. When I woke up, they were still dancing. So I didn't know how long they were doing that for.
But yeah. I'm not at the point where I don't feel like we should stay up to watch it. I definitely want to stay up and watch the next one because I actually think it's getting better.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I've lowered my expectations for all Disney Plus shows, and I'm just riding with it now. So whatever comes on, as long as it's there. I mean, I appreciate that they brought a Boba Fett story to us. It may not be good, but I appreciate that they're bringing something to us.
What about you, Kim? I mean, you've been watching it. Where are you at right now with what we've got from Boba Fett so far?
Well, you know me, like I set an alarm to get up after I've been sleeping for a little to watch the show. And then it's easy for me to fall back to sleep. But I watched this at 4:30 in the morning, but I had to start my day. I wanted to go back to sleep so bad because it just put me to sleep. I was so bored. And what I don't get, because you know me, I didn't read the books, the Star Wars books, and so I love learning about this world. But the little I do know about Boba Fett is that he's a badass. He's a cutthroat badass. And this guy, he is a gentle, diplomatic, a little bit slow of a fighter, diplomatic, kind of gentle, poetic guy. And I feel like, even though I don't know much about Boba Fett, I'm like, wait, what? That's not who I heard about. Like that, it doesn't seem to match up with the lore in terms of what I'm seeing. Is this how he was in the books? Is this how he was in the comics? Was he this gentle? Am I missing something, John? Was he actually this gentle and diplomatic and kind and poetic? And honestly, the Minotaur, the creature that he got as a gift, the Rancor. Thank you. I called it a Minotaur.
The Minotaur,
the guy with the legs. He was petting that thing and staring at that thing for so long that I thought it was going to be a jump scare. Like it was going to just wake up and go, grr. He was like, I'm like, you want to lift his leg? Do you want to look under his arm? He's inspecting. He's staring at it like,
I thought it was
I'm just so in love with it.
I thought it was a nice moment.
Can I write it? Bro.
Here's a question.
Either get on it or just get out of the room.
If they released Hawkeye, all the episodes all at once, would you liked it, or do you think that would have been better for the show? Because I'm thinking with Boba, that's what they need to do. Like going.
Well, it highlights the thing though that this was another episode that was 30-something minutes.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch the next
I can't remember how long it was if you minus the very long credits. Like you're in the 30-minute range again.
Car chase that was yawn-inducing.
A very long yawn-inducing car chase.
You take into account you're staying up at that time, right? So you're investing something already, and then, that's why I'm thinking if they dropped all of it, then like maybe the people could see it as a whole and not judge it on episode.
You would fall asleep.
Yeah, I would fall asleep.
You would totally fall asleep.
I would totally fall asleep, but I mean, I would get through it by the end of the month.
But if I sat down right now and watched all the first 3 episodes back to back right now, it's not any better.
Oh yeah,
it's not any better.
What it's missing is we don't understand where it's going. Like Succession. We all know that the 4 children are somehow competing to become the leader of the family. We understand that. We don't know what Boba Fett wants to do. Like in the middle of all of this intrigue, the Hutts show up and go, "Yeah, I know, we're sorry we tried to kill you, but here's a Rancor." And then we have this side trip to hang out with the Rancor for a while. Well, what does that have to do? Obviously, they're setting up that he's going to ride the Rancor into town to wreck shop at some point. Fine. But wreck shop against who? Or what? Who are the people he's like, what's he trying to do? I don't know what Boba Fett wants. He just walks into town to talk to people, and he doesn't have a plan.
Well, now he wants revenge, obviously.
Revenge against what?
Whatever is that.
But why is he even he doesn't have to take over the town. Like, I don't even know why he wants to do that.
He didn't even get mad that they sent a hitman or a hit chewy to kill him. He wasn't even like, how dare you?
Well, he did say we've got to respond.
Yeah, but then they were like, we're sorry. And he was like, okay. Like, but you know what this makes me think of? Remember how they were saying that Harrison Ford might do a Luke Skywalker like at the end of Mandalorian? I so don't want it to happen now because it'll be that thing that kind of saves the show. And I don't want it to happen now because it will be this amazing highlight and it'll make the show even lower because you'll be so thrilled that something freaking happened Look, if he gets in a really great fight next week and I see some explosions or I see something intense or he actually gets mad at somebody and he uses his jetpack, like, be all of Boba.
All right, one other thing I should point out here, because somebody, John D in the live chat said, well, you know, John's precious WandaVision was only about 30 minutes each episode, averaging out. Yeah, and I complained about it every week. The difference, though, is that when the WandaVision episode would end, I'd be like, no, don't end. This is so good. Boba Fett episodes end, and I'm like, don't end yet, because you haven't gotten to anything good yet. Like, so there's a thing. So yeah, I complained every week about the length of the WandaVision episodes too. But part of that complaint came from like, these episodes are so good, I don't want it to end. With Boba Fett, I feel like, please keep this episode going so I feel like I was vindicated in staying up to watch this show. And that's the difference right now. By the way, I put up a poll in the live chat while we were discussing and asked you guys, has Book of Boba Fett been a disappointment so far? Almost 1,000 of you guys have responded, as 68% of you are saying, yes, it is a disappointment so far. 32% of you are saying, no, I'm not disappointed in this show yet so far. We still have 4 episodes still to go, guys. Let's see how much it can turn things around. Whatever you guys are thinking about it right now, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.